Okay, so we're going to start with savory baked tofu.
We chose our whole wheat couscous, which has got more nutrients and a lower glycemic index, which is good for people watching their sugar levels and their insulin levels.
Just to demonstrate to you how very easy the couscous is, we want to put our 2 cups in here. Let's get the water from the stove. And we can just pour it right in. Give it a little stir, and then we'll cover it with a plate, and we're all set. We'll be ready in about 10 minutes. Now this is nigari tofu, so it's coagulated with nigari, which is a sea vegetable. You'll actually be getting a little bit of sea vegetable nutrients in there. And what we want to do is cut it up into cubes, kind of small cubes. And as we're cutting this up here, I want to talk to you a little bit about the silken tofu, which we did not use. You can see that this is a little bit more textury than silken tofu, which is a little more soft and custardy. And we'll put them in a baking dish. We have preheated the oven to 375. This is a dish that requires little time and little attention for preparation, but then while it's in the oven, it's going to be about an hour and a half.
Okay.
So it's easy to just put it in the oven and forget about it. Move on to something else.
How do you get a kid into tofu?
I think most children actually like tofu if you don't, because it's so inoffensive and bland. It's also a terrific dish to put into a pita for your lunch. I think of it as a conversion dish. It converts people who don't like tofu. Just gives it some flavor, and what we're going to do with the long baking, it draws off some of the water from the tofu so that you end up with almost a chewy texture. We're going to put on about 2 tablespoons of olive oil here, and then we're going to put on about 3 tablespoons of tamari. Tamari, we talked about this. Tamari is such a delicious thing. Tamari is the real thing of soy sauce. There's no caramel coloring. There's no added salt. It's actually a soy product, and it's fermented, so it actually has some of the properties that yogurt has, in that it's got some live cultures in it. So it's good for your gut. It's good for digestion in general, and it's just an easy way to get more soy in your diet. It's also slightly more digestible than something that's not fermented, like soy milk. Next, we're going to put an onion and some garlic. Just coarsely chop the onion. Next step is the garlic. We're going to use most of a head. You can slice them as small as you like, in little chunks maybe, and then we can put the whole thing right into the oven. Now in the meantime, let's just chop up some tomatoes. Tomatoes are a terrific source of lycopene. Lycopene, it turns out, is good for men, for prostate health. It's particularly good for eye health and preventing macular degeneration, and good for heart health. Okay, I think it's probably done. Okay. It sure smells good.
All right.
Oh, that's a beautiful sight, isn't it? Look at that.
Yes. Here we go.
Okay. You can sure smell how fragrant it is. Now, we just want to set up a bed of couscous here on your platter. And then we'll scoop on the tofu. Scatter on our tomatoes pretty thickly, which should look really abundant.
Yes, it adds nice color.
And then we'll sprinkle on some cilantro. Fresh or dried, either is fine. And there you have it.
Nice. Easy peasy.
Healthy Living now has a new home where you can get fresh ideas, entertaining content, and practical tips to help you squeeze the most out of life. Lime, healthy living with a twist.